We'd like to continue on now with our caregiver experience speakers, and I would like to introduce to you two very nice ladies who will introduce themselves, of course, but I'm with their experiences. We have Dee Gozonsky, and where were you from, Dee?
West Windsor,
From West Windsor, New Jersey, and Sandy Foo-Ying from
Clinton, New Jersey.
from Clinton, New Jersey. Okay, and who would like to go first?
I'll have Dee go first, and I'll sit
Do you want
over
to
here.
sit down or?
Yeah, why don't you sit
Okay.
there? Okay, and you can go right now. No, well, how about if one
Okay.
does? Okay.
Sure.
And then as soon as you're finished, then.
Never mind, can you hear me? Can you see me? I may be the shortest speaker here today. Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Dee Gozonsky. My husband, Irv, was finally diagnosed with PSP about 3 years ago. And when I say finally, and you all may have experienced this as well as we did, it was a very long and an arduous journey before we finally went to Columbia Presbyterian in New York to get a diagnosis for what were an ongoing series of symptoms that no other neurologist was able to pinpoint. And within a very brief exam at Columbia Presbyterian, I'm going to say we were diagnosed with PSP. And we were referred to Robert Wood Johnson Department of Neurology because there is a very fine department here that specialized in movement disorder diseases. And as a result, we have been coming here for Irv's PSP. And let me just put my bag down. I realized I still had it on my shoulder. I'm going to go back to saying we because after the diagnosis, I realized Irv may be the bearer of the disorder, but in truth, both of us and our family were all pulled into this new situation. And I remember also feeling very disoriented. I felt all of the things that Trish mentioned in her talk just a little while ago. And it's a process. It's step by step. How do we deal with this? How do we move forward in a way where we do have a quality of life and we can draw strength from a situation that really is constantly wearing us down? So one day while we were at the neurologist's office, I said, "Do you have a support group for PSP?" And he said, "No, I'm waiting for one of my patients to volunteer." So I hear this voice say, "Oh, I'll do it." It was me. And as a result, we did start a PSP support group here in the state of New Jersey. If any of you here have not been aware of this, I hope that you are able to contact me and be in touch and join us. We meet the fourth Saturday of every month right here at Robert Wood Johnson. In fact, the meeting room is right through those doors, and to the right, it's room 108A. I also must thank my mentor, Elizabeth Schaff, who has been an incredible source of wealth of information and help to our support group. We have been able to provide speakers on every issue of importance to all of us. The most recent meeting, we had an elder law attorney speak to the group and provide us with a great deal of helpful information on how to deal with all the legal aspects of our lives. Preceding that, we had an occupational therapist come and address many of the issues that were spoken of earlier today. And the list goes on and on. It is through this kind of help that we find a great deal of strength, aside from the camaraderie that we have all developed just among those of us who have been able to attend the meetings over the course of the past almost 2 years now. This has provided a great deal of strength and energy to me as a caregiver. And I feel, I don't like to use the word fortunate, but I will, to be able, in this case, in a situation where fortunate or grateful for, or, able to function within the confines of our unusual terms, but as a caregiver, our loved ones look to us for their strength, and I do feel that a wonderful support group, as we do have, is so important. Let me also add that we have certainly the group has expanded, and patients with CBD and MSA have joined the group, and we are now, reaching out to everyone. Started with PSP, but the group has expanded. I think that pretty much sums up my caregiving experience. I also feel that our family has been extremely supportive. We have just been able to work together and help very much with caring for my husband and their father. And all I can say is thank you to everyone. This really, they say it takes a village. Well, it really takes a big community to help the caregiver. And for that, I'm very grateful. Thank you.
For those who didn't remember my name, I'm Sandy Foo-Ying, and I'm from New Jersey. 4 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with PSP. We were very fortunate in my family to not have gone through the rigors of being misdiagnosed in the very beginning. And seeing Dr. Golby at the very get-go was a wonderful thing that happened to my family, because it really did set expectations for us to understand what this disease was all about, and to ask the very concrete questions up front so that our whole family can understand what are the ramifications of this disease and what we can expect. One of the things I do in caregiving for my mom is my dad takes care of my mom during the week, and on Fridays I leave work and come home and take over from my dad from the weekend to allow him to have time for himself, to watch the movies that he would like to, and also to go to the movies or go out to dinner with a friend. It takes a lot of sacrifice on everybody in the family, not only one person, but many. My husband, who has been absolutely very supportive in understanding the need of the family now and the sacrifice you have to make now, because you would only have one chance to do this and to do it now. And though there are some people in your family that may be supporters or whatever role they play, there is always someone who's just a bystander in the family. And in my family of 5 children, there's a mix of all. I have one bystander, and the rest are supporters, and I have other family members who also share. I can't tell you enough that I always tell people what it's all about, what the disease is. I give them the website to CurePSP.org so that they could go in and read what I cannot explain. In the very beginning of the disease, when my mom was diagnosed, I wanted to know more. I'm that kind of person that wanted to know every single aspect of the disease. And CurePSP.org was the thing that offered me the avenue to go in there and search out. And that's how I came upon Dee, who's been a fabulous person in helping be the leader in our support group. I urge you, people who ever live around in this area, to come by to the support group. It offers not only members of your family, but the person like my mom, who is a PSP patient. It gives her insight into what goes on in her disease, because she's hearing it from other people as well, and not just us in the family. So I encourage you to go to the caregiving meetings that's in your area, or if you're here in New Jersey or in the New York area that you're close by and you can come to one of our monthly Saturday meetings, that would be great. I also wanted to thank the PSP.org group here that has put on this wonderful event for us. It's a great opportunity to meet other people that are going through the same things in our family that we're going through. It makes our lives easy to understand that there is a community out there and there are people in our community that are going through the same thing. And thank you all for coming.
We're now going to open up our panel discussion, and okay, we've got Trish and Barry. Oh, and I do want to remind you again about the evaluations. Trish told me, make sure you tell everybody